Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the World of Wrestling podcast. Here today to discuss about the WWE Monday Night Raw episode for March 30th, 2026. Just to let you guys know about last week, I sincerely apologize. I did not upload any content. I was off from work for a week. I was taking care of my wife. She recently last Tuesday had surgery, and I had to take care of her, and I just was more concerned about that, and she really needed me for a lot of things. She's getting a lot better from recovery, so I'm back up to date with everything when it comes to doing the reviews, so you guys will be seeing more of me again. So I do apologize about disappearing for a week, but I needed the time to take care of my wife. Some other things that are going on the channel, guys. I will be trying to do GCW reviews. There's 2 events taking place this weekend, one on a Friday and one on Saturday. So I may end up going ahead and reviewing both of those events sometime next week before their next event takes place. And House of Glory I've been doing when it airs live, so I've been watching those. I watched TNA Sacrifice last Friday. I did watch all of wrestling content that I normally watch except for SmackDown. I'm gonna try to watch SmackDown this Friday. I'm just not guaranteed it's gonna be all that great, and if it ain't, I guess we could have a good time shitting all over it. But I'm gonna see how it is. Some things are good, some things are bad on SmackDown, mostly bad, especially with Carmelo Hayes losing the United States Championship to Sami. I can't believe they fucking did that. The last 2 weeks I've not watched SmackDown at all, so I've kind of gotten glimpses of what's going on and all that jazz. So I don't know. But I'm not too keen on SmackDown lately. SmackDown has been a really piss poor of a show. And tonight, I'd say, I guess it depends on how you felt about the show. Me personally, I felt nothing. I really didn't. I didn't feel anything special about this show. This show just feels... WWE in general feels lifeless. AEW, I'll be honest with you guys. I watched AEW Dynamite. I thought it was a fun show in some aspects. But that Kenny Omega Swerve match did not deserve to be on the opener of the fucking show this past Dynamite. That was a bunch of bullshit. That should have been the main event, and Darby Allin and Rush should have been the opener of the show, because Rush has not been shown on television. I'm glad to see him back on TV finally. But yeah, I mean, like, give me a fucking break, man. It's really... Fuck! Don't mind me. I'm just tired from work, and I worked my ass off today, so don't mind me. But, yeah, this was really not that big of a deal. I mean, you had some neat moments. The crowd was pretty into it during the Obafemi Brock Lesnar segment. CM Punk and Roman Reigns, let's just get into that right out of the gate. I don't understand the whole point of Punk smiling and laughing his ass off from last week when he felt like he had the mental game and the upper hand on Roman Reigns. Don't quite get that one. That didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. That tonight he just hauled ass to the ring and just wanted to beat the fucking shit out of him. No words were said, nothing outside of Roman saying his normal, typical garbage, acknowledge me. And quite frankly, I mean, that was it. Oh boy, I guess they've run out of dialogue. It's time to just beat each other up for the next few weeks. I honestly think WrestleMania should be happening this weekend. JD from New York 206 said the same thing. I'd have to agree with his commentary from last week. I think that this being stretched all the way to April 18th is kind of silly. What are we going to do with these storylines? There's nothing more to do with them outside of stretch them more and more, and yet there's nothing to stretch with the content that we have. The layers of dialogue or the layers of storytelling is not that deep. It's very simplistic, get to the match, let's do it type of thing. I'm up for the CM Punk Roman Reigns match. I think it's going to be a fun and enjoyable match. It might be a surprise heel turn by CM Punk. I'm thinking maybe we might see The Rock have two champions with Randy Orton and CM Punk. Hell, we might even find out that maybe it's not The Rock behind the phone calls with Randy Orton. Maybe it's actually Kevin Owens. Maybe that's the case. Maybe Kevin Owens comes down and fucks over Cody Rhodes and helps Randy Orton win the match. I don't know. That is very intriguing concept towards what they're doing here with the telephone calls that Randy Orton keeps getting. Now, why I keep saying The Rock in this instance is The Rock was looking for Cody to be his champion. And also CM Punk had interest in fucking over, getting even with John Cena and getting The Rock's bald ass. Mentioned that last year. He said, I'm going to get you to. Never got him. Maybe this time around, instead of getting him, he goes into business with him even though he don't like him. And because he's willing to go into business with him is because The Rock's willing to say, fuck family, let's make money. And Punk's like, okay, let's do it. Fuck him. What is Punk, really, what are we getting from Punk that's so babyface-like mentality? I mean, all he's doing is trying to throw a wrench hold into the bloodline group between the Usos and Roman Reigns, making them think that one or the other. We didn't see the Usos out there at all. They lost their tag team titles tonight to open the show to Logan Paul and fucking Austin Theory. Why is that? Why couldn't we have saved this match for a WrestleMania matchup? This is another oddball thing. I do not understand what this fucking company does with their championship belts. They change titles during weekly televised shows too often. It's one thing to make it happen once in a while. Once every couple of months, you have a title change to make a surprise. But as long as it's not affecting storylines, okay then. Speaking of title changes on a fucking random episode of Raw, Penta has been defending his fucking championship belt each and every week, retaining his title. He got a match with Kofi Kingston tonight, defending the IC Championship and retaining the title. And then immediately following that, Kathy Kelly's asking him, what is he going to do to get himself into the WrestleMania show? And he says, I'm going to defend my Intercontinental Championship in a ladder match. A multi-man ladder match. 6-man ladder match. A few of the names that I remember based on the graphic, I remember Rusev, JD McDonough himself, and then 3 other guys I forgot that's also in this. And, what are we doing? Why isn't Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor already announced for a match at WrestleMania? We haven't even got that announced yet. Unless I missed something. Maybe I did. But that championship would have been a good fit for this rivalry. There was no need to drop the title from Dom to Penta. Yes, Dom, I will admit, there's been some people online that have said Dom has not done anything special with the title. That's fine. But at least Finn Balor would get some fucking justice out of it by taking the title away from Dominic at WrestleMania. And at least he'd have some sort of championship. It brings some sort of intrigue. It makes Dominic have a reason to want to, he has a reason to be concerned. This match still means shit, even if he was to lose. What does it matter to him? He don't fucking care. He could go ahead and he could cheat and get disqualified. Like, that fucking matters to him. As long as he's the one standing tall. Why should it matter to him if he wins a fucking match at WrestleMania against Finn Balor when there's nothing on his end that's in jeopardy? It's pointless. So, even if, let's just say, Dom won. Okay, great. He won. Whoopie fucky do. He got to win over fucking Finn Balor. Finn Balor, he gets a win over Dominic. Oh, great. He went ahead and he got revenge. Woohoo! Like, you could save this match for fucking Monday Night Raw if you wanted to. And screw having them on the card. There's nothing special here. Oh, wow, because he betrayed Finn Balor, and Finn Balor didn't do what Dom asked. It needs to be at WrestleMania in a grudge match. I knew the title was changing hands. Not that I agreed with the IC title changing hands before Finn and Dom would face each other at WrestleMania. But what is the fucking point of Dom carrying the title to ultimately drop it at a fucking Monday Night Raw episode when it could be done on a major stage like WrestleMania? In a grudge match that has meaning. This is the kind of shit that bothers me. Okay? A women's tag team championship match was on the card too. It was Bayley and Lyra Valkyria versus Lash Legend and Nia Jax that went to a no contest and had a laundry list of people in the middle of the match for no apparent reason at all. And they were from fucking SmackDown. We also, speaking of SmackDown, we have SmackDown storylines carrying over to Monday Night Raw. With Cody Rhodes getting a pep talk by Stephanie McMahon Helmsley, telling him he needs to realize that if he don't find that sadistic side of himself, or at least know what to expect from a sadistic Randy Orton, then he ain't gonna walk out of WrestleMania with that championship. Holy fuck. Are you kidding me? Gotta be joking, man. This shit is... Like, we're getting a pep talk from Stephanie McMahon. Of all people. She got RKO'd and kissed on the fucking lips while she was unconscious in 2009. Great. Wonderful. Why isn't Triple H out there talking to him about that? He knows about facing fucking Randy Orton and being against that sadistic side of him back in 2009. He beat him at least one time out of that whole entire thing. And he was fucking sadistic. And yet, here's the funny part, folks. He didn't win. That's another neat part about what Stephanie McMahon said to him. Then they took shots at each other. You're not like Dusty Rhodes. You're not like your father. You don't have that dirty, gritty mentality like he did back in his day. And Cody goes ahead and says, "You're not like your father." And she slaps him in the fucking face. And then he pulls her after she walks past him, grabs her by the arm, throws her around. I thought I was going to witness Triple H get in the middle of the ring at some point during this fucking segment and want to lay his ass the fuck out, possibly. Maybe he's too busy hugging Io Sky backstage again. Maybe that's why he didn't go out there and beat his ass for doing that. And then said, "I got 2 words for you." And a couple of the fans in the crowd screamed, "Suck it!" Which is what this show should do. Go suck it. WWE should go fucking suck it. But he says, "Thank you." Thank you is what you tell her. After she slaps you in the face for saying you ain't like your father. Which should be a fucking compliment outside of the great things he did professionally. The things he did professionally in the sport of wrestling is about the only good thing you want to be anything like Vince McMahon. Take that out of the mix and you talk about the person Vince McMahon? Who the fuck would want to be like that except some low-life piece of shit? Oh, God, man. So, with all that being said, and all these things I'm throwing out here to you guys, I have to say this show sucked. There's really nothing more to watch for the next few weeks until WrestleMania. I'm dead ass serious. They have no more story. This might as well should have been the fucking go home show for WrestleMania this coming Saturday and Sunday. But instead, we got 2 or 3 more weeks of this shit. And my God, I got an extremely bad headache. And that's to be from this fucking show, because this show sucks. This company as a whole sucks. I will admit, AEW is not at the level of WWE and probably never will be, because you got a guy like Tony Khan who, yes, I love the fact that he has such a passion for professional wrestling. I like the fact that he wants to be friends with his employees, the people that help earn him money. But you also got to know when to fold them and when to hold them. And what I mean by that is when to draw the line where you put the business first, the friendship second. And if you're doing your business correctly and you're following the rules within the company and you're not doing things to hurt the product, then that's all fine and dandy. Then you're good old buddies. When you're fucking around like Ricochet, consequences got to be made. There's things that need to be enforced. And Ricochet is not from what I've seen so far, I've yet to see anything of change of that. I haven't seen any reports about him being punished for this, for what he said to some fan about he's glad that they had MS, which is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know why any logical person would say something like that to another human being just because they don't like your promo work. Fuck it. Deranged as shit. But, yeah. So anyway, let's go ahead and continue with this review. So, following the Cody Stephanie McMahon segment, we go backstage to the where we see IShowSpeed looking for Danhausen, say his name, and he appears. Apparently, he's like Joe Hendry. And Danhausen offers to uncurse Speed in exchange for revenue. Nothing doing on that, but Pierce does have a front row seat for Speed tonight as he addresses LA Knight, being the special guest commentator for the World Tag Team title match coming up next. Knight says, "Hello," and they walk off. leaving us with Pierce and Danhausen. Pierce is confused about Danhausen not disappearing, eventually just walking off before we head back to ringside. This is not the last of Danhausen. We actually see Danhausen announce that New York will be getting a Saturday night main event on, in July or some shit. So, whoop-de-doo. And the Usos, they make their entrance, set to defend their World Tag Team titles in a street fight against Division, and that match came up next. So, I already went over this, and I Show Speed got involved in this matchup. Logan Paul, oddly, went ahead and tried to hold on to I Show Speed for protection or whatever, and he was getting brass knucks from his mother from the audience, and I Show Speed was next to Logan Paul's mother for some oddball reason. Outside it was just all set up that way. And then, all of a sudden, I Show Speed got the brass knucks from Logan Paul and cranked one of the Usos in the face. I believe it was Jimmy. Hits him in the face with the brass knucks, and then they go ahead and end up winning the matchup, the Logan Paul and Austin Theory, and the Usos drop the titles on a random Monday Night Raw in Madison Square Garden. Now, Madison Square Garden's not a bad place to lose a championship, but then again, this ain't WrestleMania. This is ridiculous. So Paul and Theory celebrate on the outside, telling Speed he needs to stick with them as we cut to a video package looking back at the issues between CM Punk and Roman Reigns leading up to their match at WrestleMania 42. Both men are in the building here tonight. Great. Back at ringside, we have Liv Morgan makes her entrance. We'll hear from her next after the commercial breaks. They're so much fun to sit through. That's why I don't particularly watch the show live half the time. I kind of pause it and skip the commercials so I don't have to sit through aggravating commercials. We get a shot of New York City subway station celebs in the crowd, including Jeff Ross and Lin-Manuel Miranda, before heading back to the ring where Liv Morgan awaits, and Liv has a mic as she addresses New York City, saying they're now in the presence of the greatest Royal Rumble winner of all time. And she extends it longer than how I'm saying it. Liv isn't mincing words here as she tells Stephanie Vaquer she's done. Bitch. She runs the champ for coming after her family in the Judgment Day, asking if she's scared to confront Liv face to face. She doesn't know about what it's like where Vaquer comes from, but where Liv comes from, they know when it's on site. She then talks up her mother before calling Steph's trash in Spanish. She tells Stephanie to come after her, and the champ obliges as her music hits, and Vaquer makes a beeline for the ring. She lays the Royal Rumble winner out before going to the ringside for a chair, but before she can do anything more, she gets blindsided by a returning Roxanne Perez. This allows the two JD ladies, or Judgment Day ladies, to beat the champ down before Morgan drops her onto the chair with an oblivion. Now, this is a little concerning to me that Liv keeps getting the upper hand on Stephanie Vaquer, but I can't see Stephanie retaining this championship at WrestleMania by any means. She's not doing anything with this fucking title. The title's it really doesn't have any prestige. There's nothing to it. just give Liv the title. There's more of a story with her than there is with Stephanie. I'm sorry to break it to her, but it is what it is. Morgan runs the champ down some more before she and Perez stand over her, and Liv grabs the title, raises it up ahead of facing Victor for the belt at WrestleMania. We take a look back at Seth Rollins going after Paul Heyman last week before being pulled away from ringside by some cops. Backstage, the Vision tried to reassure ISHO Speed he's going to be fine. Heyman joins in this, asking the new champs to take their friend out for dinner to celebrate. The trio leave as Heyman remarks that the Usos are going to kill him before Pierce talks to him about an email he sent to the Oracle, only for Heyman to tell him to print it out and give it to him before walking off. To add on to what this writer had to say, because he left this out, Paul Heyman did make some funny comments like, was the email asking me out on a date for dinner or what? Like, Paul Heyman had no interest or care whatsoever. And throughout the entire night, we had like 2 more segments, one more backstage, and then another in the ring, where the email was brought up again, only this time we finally found out what the fuck that email was supposed to be. So, there you go. But at the end of the day, guys, couldn't we have gotten to the fucking point here of the email? Like, literally. And to make matters worse, we have nothing for Gunther. He spent 3 weeks without doing a fucking story at all to build him up for WrestleMania. So what do? We just roughshod him right into the middle of a storyline that's being built with him and Paul Heyman. And since Braun Breaker's out, fuck it. We'll just have some random match come up because Gunther just had the epiphany of, hey, I ain't got a WrestleMania match, so I'll just pop in here and attack Seth Rollins so I can make this personal, and Seth Rollins will be pissed he'll have a match with me at WrestleMania. What the fuck kind of bullshit is this? By the way, just to give you a heads up before I get to the segment, we find out the email was that Paul Heyman the charges in Boston was dropped. They are not doing anything to Seth Rollins for what he did to Paul Heyman. So everything's Jake and he's cleared for action, and that's it. And then Seth attacked him from behind with a chair and tried to connect with a curb stomp on top of the chair, only for Gunther to get involved in this match with no fucking connection whatsoever with Paul Heyman or the Vision. And he just attacks Seth Rollins. Why? Just for the fucking hell of it. Because he ain't got nothing to do at WrestleMania. So let's create a reason for him to face somebody at WrestleMania. Just a random attack out of fucking thin air. Where the hell does Gunther and Seth Rollins had any personal issues with each other? Oh, I'll answer that for you. 0! None. So how did that shit make any fucking sense? It didn't. Not one fucking bit. So, please, spare me the bullshit. This company is so fucking inept it couldn't tell a storyline from... They just don't know how to fucking tell a storyline. And I just lost what I wanted to say and make it sound good. It just came across like shit. So, whatever. But yeah, this was fucking garbage. Back at ringside, Lyra, Valkyria, and Bayley make their entrance for their tag team championship match. And this was a fucking sloppy match. I mean, it wasn't terrible until every other tag team got involved. So, like, what the fuck? Anyway, Madison Square Garden's getting Saturday night's main event on July 18th. So, yeah. Match ends in a no contest. fucking everyone interfering from all different kinds of tag teams. So we're going to get a multi-women tag team match. It's going to mean absolutely fucking nothing. Haven't we seen enough multi-women tag team matches at a WrestleMania event? I think almost every year we get one. I think for the last 10 years, or ever since these women tag team titles came into existence, that's all they've done at WrestleManias, is have multi-women tag team matches over the fucking tag team titles. And they're just random tag teams thrown together, just for the sake of it. Whatever. Crowd boos as the champs are eventually sent out of the ring by the other three teams. This all feels very familiar to the writer, not to me. Maybe because it's almost exactly what happened on SmackDown last Friday. Probably so. Probably because they like to copy and paste everything like you would do with wording on a computer. Bunch of fucking losers, man. We take a look back at Obafemi once again making a fool out of Brock Lesnar, at least in a manner of speaking, and up next we will hear from Lesnar live on Raw. During the break, though, Danhausen revealed to the crowd that Saturday night's main event returns to Madison Square Garden on July 18th, and the tickets will be going on sale this week, I believe he said. This guy's a fucking marketing tool. That's all he is. He's a funny gimmick backstage, a goofball, and just curses everybody, and everybody has problems. We can only hope that maybe Danhausen curses Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania so we can see him lose the WWE Championship. And someone else has the fucking title who hasn't had it in a very, very long time, actually. Not to mention, I feel like he's having a resurgence of a character, and I'm starting to like his heel turn. Will they fuck this up? Probably so, because they're very good at doing that. They're not good at creating stars or even making good storylines. They made good storylines, they probably would create stars. Crazy concept, I know. Anyway, we return to ringside as Brock Lesnar makes his entrance and dressed to fight as Paul Heyman follows him down the ramp. He's all over the fucking place on this show. Paul Heyman's in about 4 different segments on this show. This is absolutely sick. Commentary talks about his match against Obafemi at WrestleMania as the Beast walks to the ring and Paul has a mic in his hand as the crowd chants for Obafemi. Paul introduces himself and Brock Lesnar, and he's interrupted as the chants of Obafemi get louder, saying he's out here tonight to pontificate on the perils that await Obafemi. 2 weeks ago, Brock Lesnar was distracted by Seth Rollins and caught off guard by Obafemi. Last week, Brock Lesnar wasn't dressed to fight. He came out to have a beast to man conversation with Obafemi, but Oba chose to pick a fight with Brock. Just wanted to have a conversation. If you'll notice, Brock is dressed to fight because Brock has authorized Paul to reveal that he has seen this before over the course of 25 years. He's run down what happens to the men that have tried to start a fight with Brock Lesnar, but Lesnar pulls the mic away and tells Oba to get out here right now. What we get instead is Adam Pearce and some security, as the Raw GM says he's protecting his main events for WrestleMania. I wouldn't call these matches all main events. They're just good grudge matches or fill-in matches leading up to the main event. Anyway, the people can boo all they want, but this is not happening. Of course it ain't. He asks Heyman and Lesnar to leave the ring when suddenly the lights go out and Femi's music hits. And Derulo himself, dressed to fight, as he appears on the stage, he stares Brock down before making his way down the ramp, doing his little weird dance he does just before he gets in the ring, seemingly taunting the Beast with his usual level of swagger along the way. Security tries to stop Oba from proceeding. They all get laid out as Pierce tries to reason with him, only to be shoved into the barricade. Yeah, that happened. Obafemi took the GM and threw his ass by the neck into the corner of a barricade. And that had to suck. Was there any consequences given to Obafemi for this during the show? No. There was no mention of him saying, I want you to stay off the road for a while until WrestleMania. What you did was uncalled for. You're suspended for 2 weeks, and you're off television until WrestleMania. What are we going to do with these two? Really? What the fuck is Obafemi going to do with Brock Lesnar that they haven't already done? There's nothing to say. It's two behemoths. Let's see who's the better guy. Who they decide to book to win is what you're going to get. Some fucking storyline. The storyline sucks. Okay, Obafemi, I'll give him this. He's looked impressive in the encounters these two have had. But at the end of the day, based on storylines, there's nothing here. It's just a simplistic monster versus monster type gimmick matchup going on here. So let's just have the fucking match and see the entertainment. That's all we're going to get from this. For the next few weeks, you're getting nothing different than you've seen in the last couple of weeks leading to this decision of a match to be booked. Am I okay with the match being booked? Yes. Is there a whole lot of story to really bite your teeth into? No. There's nothing here. So just book the match, which has already been done, and just get to the fucking match. You don't need to have these guys on television every fucking week doing the same fucking shit. If you have Brock Lesnar go over on Obafemi in the lead up to this, it's going to look ridiculous. Brock Lesnar is winning this match. I do not give a fuck what anyone says. I don't care what a report says. I don't give a flying fuck. Brock Lesnar is going to win this match, and the reason why that report came out of him saying that he will not lose until his last match at SummerSlam is real simple. So that his last match feels special for whoever does beat him in his last match. That is the whole fucking point. Obafemi has looked great. Their mentality is, let's make Obafemi look great in defeat. It has been done in the past. Stone Cold Steve Austin did it with Bret Hart. Shawn Michaels looked great at WrestleMania 25 and 26 against The Undertaker in both matches in defeat, and he did not look like shit. Obafemi's a made man. There ain't nothing, and there's no way in hell you're going to tell me that Obafemi is not the guy that can be the new Brock Lesnar of this modern day era of professional wrestling. I'm sorry. There's no way you can tell me that at all. So, quite frankly, they could book this match to have Brock go over at WrestleMania, and they could rebook it at SummerSlam and have Obafemi beat him this time. They could always do that. That's also another option they can go with. But to have Brock Lesnar lose along the way to his last match, not really liking that idea. Then you might as well have Obafemi go over at WrestleMania and have Brock retire. Which, personally, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But SummerSlam's in Minnesota. That's his home state. That's where he's going to probably lose. That's where I would have him lose. So, all you guys that have a flip-out episode about Brock Lesnar saying, I'm not losing to nobody until my last match. Well, then you apparently don't know what the fuck you're talking about when it comes to professional wrestling. Because if a guy like Brock Lesnar, who's a fucking monster of a dude, is losing on his way out to his final match, and he loses his final match, what was the fucking point of him being there in the first place? He should have just lost to Obafemi and walked away. So, no, Brock is not losing at WrestleMania. These week-by-week episodes are proving that, because every single week Obafemi is getting the advantage over Brock. So obviously Brock's going to get the advantage over Obafemi. And probably it's not going to be an F5 that puts Obafemi away. He's going to have to break Obafemi's arm to make him give up. That's what they're going to probably do. That's what I'd do. If you're going to make Brock win and you want Obafemi to look good, you have Obafemi and Brock Lesnar go in a grueling, gritty match, both battered and beaten, and then eventually Brock taps into his MMA background, hooks in a Kimura lock, tries to do it several times and can't get it fully executed. Finally, on the last time, he gets him in that lock, and because of the lack of knowledge that Obafemi has for MMA, he gets fucked. He's locked in, nowhere to go. His arm gets broken, end of story, and doesn't give up. The referee calls a technical knockout, or the match ends by ref's decision. And that's it. And I'm not saying he should legitimately break his arm, of course. That'd be kind of fucking ridiculous. But to make it look like he broke his arm. Because they did that to Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels didn't get his arm broken by fucking Brock Lesnar. For real. Get the fuck out of here. That was a fucking work injury. So they could just do the same thing with Obafemi. And have Brock praise him after WrestleMania. Say, look, Obafemi, he may have lost, but this motherfucker, he was one tough son of a bitch. The toughest challenge of my career. And thank him for it. He has a future in this company. And there you go. And you can build off of that for a rematch at SummerSlam and Oba goes over. But to have Brock Lesnar lose multiple times going to SummerSlam in his final match? No. Sorry. Totally disagree with that. I think that sucks. I'm not saying that Brock needs to win this match, but if you want to make sense for making the last match of Brock Lesnar important, him taking an L is kind of a bad idea. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about that one. Anyway, moving on. Because I've been doing a lot of talking about this fucking event, and this show is not all that great. The stare down between the two of them was awesome. I thought that was cool. Brock Lesnar went ahead and F5 fucking one of the security guards like he was a rag doll. It was fucking ridiculous. We then go to a video package looking at Finn Balor's journey away from the Judgment Day as he calls out Dominic. And then back at ringside, Penta makes his way to the ring to defend his fucking championship against Kofi Kingston, who's never earned a shot for the damn title. And then it later on announced that it will be defended in a ladder match, a 6-man ladder match that Penta himself said, I will do. He is the one that issued the challenge in the match. In a ladder match. In a 6-man, multi-man ladder match. I'm scratching my head right now trying to figure out why in the fuck anyone would want to do that to themselves outside of the fact that they just like to torture themselves. Or they hate themselves. Or maybe they just don't like the championship. Maybe they're so fed up with defending the fucking thing, they're like, maybe if I go ahead and defend it against 5 other guys in a ladder match, my chances will drop so fucking low that literally I won't have to defend this hunk of crap anymore, and someone else can worry about it. Or he could just drop the title and not have to go through the hassle of defending it. But, man, who the fuck needs to do that? Anyway. So everyone goes crazy and wild over that. Then we're backstage. Pierce is once again confronts Heyman about his email. My God, with the fucking email. Jesus Christ. We're living in the fucking 21st century, bro. You don't need emails. This isn't the Epstein files, okay? I mean, like, come on. You can just go ahead. That was just supposed to be a joke. You could go ahead and just text them the information. What do you got to send an email to someone? This isn't back in the old days when you used to have to communicate through email. The fuck? Heyman makes fun of GM saying he smells. Yeah, I know. Before promising more of that right now. Heyman walks away, and it seems we'll hear from him next. Jesus Christ. So anyway, we head back to ringside. Paul Heyman's back to talk some more. He addresses something about the lights before acknowledging the new World Tag Team Champions division. He said, where did we get the lights? From New Jersey? I fucking love that comment. I fucking hate New Jersey. I lived in New Jersey for 1 year. God, thank you for getting me out of there as quick as you did. My parents had a divorce and I no longer was in New Jersey. I moved back down to Florida. I hate Florida, but I'll take Florida over New Jersey any fucking day of the week. That fucking place sucks. But yeah, he tried to give the fans an MSG Brock Lesnar versus Obafemi and wannabe mid-level beast or whatever the fuck he was trying to say. GM Adam Pearce, but Heyman is off as Pearce makes his way out, and Adam Pearce once again asks him, Paul, if he's checked his emails today. God almighty. This is the thing I don't understand. You've asked the man multiple times about the fucking email. He's yet to answer you, so obviously no, he has not checked the fucking emails because he don't care about your fucking email that you sent him. So why not say the charges in Boston that Seth Rollins did to you, you know, what he did to you in Boston, those charges have been dropped. Everything's been cleared. We're moving on, and oh yeah, Seth Rollins has been cleared to wrestle. So have a nice day. But, yeah. We couldn't do that. We had to drag this out all the way to this segment. Just so we can have Seth Rollins show up to hit him in the back as if he was betraying the Shield. Same fucking image. So anyway, Paul Heyman also says that he's in the know. He knows what's going on. His ears are always on the concrete of New York. He keeps his eyes and nose in the sewers and all the places you wouldn't go to. And he knows what everything's going on. He's a fucking visionary. He's this, he's that, yada, yada, yada. And that's when Adam Pearce came out and asked him, well, you know, you do realize the email had something to do with the Boston charge, and that's all been dropped. Now he's cleared. And he starts talking about how he's the last manager standing from the 1980s and the last promoter standing from the 1990s and got a huge ECW chant. ECW is still a fucking thing to this day. That is mind-boggling. GCW, Game Changer Wrestling, wishes they could be anything like ECW. ECW managed to build a foundation where they could be placed on television and still be able to at least find an equal balance that would allow them to be on television and still be able to do their thing. GCW goes to all kinds of... they go past those limits. They're extreme as fuck. They make ECW look like choir boys, but even though they do that, ECW was a fucking hardcore wrestling promotion. And GCW will never get a TV deal with what they do. They're fucking barbaric as shit. If you like to see things you normally don't see, that's your shit right there. You got your ECW to the extreme. It's really beyond extreme. It's just barbaric, fucking insane. But yes, Seth Rollins attacks him from behind, and then Gunther shows up out of fucking nowhere, submits him, or it's not submits him, he puts him in a rear naked choke, and Seth Rollins is slowly but surely passing out over the announcer's table and hollering, "Go to sleep! Go to sleep!" Oh my fucking Lord. Lord have mercy. Where does this make sense? Nobody fucking knows. Will we get an answer from Gunther? Hopefully we will. Later on in the show, I think immediately following that segment, back from commercial break, Pierce went ahead and made the announcement that Seth Rollins is back. He's okay. He's still cleared to wrestle at WrestleMania, and he wants a piece of Gunther's ass. So the match is official for WrestleMania, Gunther versus Seth Rollins. Because Braun Breaker is out with an injury, and Rey Mysterio is out with his injury. Is it a better match than what Gunther and Rey could tell? Probably so, but here's the thing. It makes no fucking sense, damn it. Okay? Makes no fucking sense. You got a good match booked for a match to take place, but it makes no fucking sense. There's your problem. Anyway, following that, Io Sky versus Raquel Rodriguez. This is actually technically the main event match of the show. The last match of the show. And Io Sky ends up losing to Raquel Rodriguez. Because, for some odd reason, Asuka and Kairi Sane decided to take a stroll down the rampway to the ring to distract Io Sky while Asuka is being this mean, rotten person in an abusive relationship between two people, and she is brutally grabbing Kairi Sane by the fucking hair, and Io Sky, being the dipshit babyface, decided, I have a match going on, but I see someone in danger over here. Let me pretend I'm Supergirl and fly out between the ropes and land right on top of her and get distracted to ultimately lose the fucking match, which is exactly what happened. This is so fucking stupid. I mean, this shit is so fucking stupid. But yes, Raquel Rodriguez gets a W after spending 2 weeks getting rolled up and pinned. Yeah, makes sense. It's all fucking making sense here. Oh, fucking A, man. So it's been announced the Intercontinental Championship will be defended in a 6-man multi-man match. In a ladder match. And then we have a multi-woman tag team match for the women's tag team titles. How exciting. And then we got an announcement from John Cena by, I believe it's X, announcing that he's going to be at WrestleMania hosting both nights. How exciting. I'll see you there, guys. But don't worry. That tap out never happened. And when I smiled, I might as well should have been given the bird to the fucking camera while I tapped out instead of smiling. Because to me, that was like the fucking finger poke of death. What a joke. Anyway, backstage we hear from Adam Pearce, who says Seth Rollins... Yeah, I already told you all that shit. And then the last piece of the whole show was Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Roman Reigns said, acknowledge me. Punk comes out, beelines to the ring, attacks Roman Reigns. They both start hammering each other. And we see Adam Pearce for the 5 millionth time on this fucking godforsaken show. I think he was in almost every freaking segment on the show. Literally. If it wasn't a wrestling match, he was there. That's insane. I have never seen Adam Pearce on so many different segments on a show like this. This is fucking ridiculous. But he's trying to break up the fight, preserving the main events of his card for Raw, blah, blah, blah. Holy fucking shit, man. So, this is just crazy. So, he goes ahead and he fucking, they eventually don't listen to Adam Pearce. They start beating up on each other. One goes for the GTS, the other counters it, tries to hit him with a spear or some shit. And ultimately, it gets reversed back into the GTS. He hits the GTS, CM Punk, and then power bombs him through the announce table like how Roman Reigns did. And needed Roman Reigns' help to flip himself up onto CM Punk's shoulders. And he just barely was able to execute the powerbomb through the table. And he starts laughing like a crazed madman. And Michael Cole addresses this as well. And he stands on top of the barricade, raising his arms up in the air like he just won in victory. Holy fuck. And this is how the show goes off the air, with him celebrating with the fans in the audience. And losing his balance, no less, on the fucking barricade as he's trying to, walk a straight line on the barricade without falling down. He actually does. And then he gets back on the barricade to finish up the fucking, the scene. And it blacks out, and that's it. This is... And we have 2 more weeks of this shit. 2 more fucking weeks of this shit! This felt like it was a perfect go-home. We could just see WrestleMania this weekend and call it a fucking day. And instead, we gotta sit through 2 more weeks with really no more story to be told here. This is just a fucking waste of time. Just book the fucking matches, go off the air for 2 more fucking weeks, and we'll see you at WrestleMania, guys. Like, what the fuck are we doing? God, this fucking company sucks. I sit here, though, and I review it, and I had a fun time doing this. This was fun, enjoyable shitting on this product, but still, it makes me scratch my head and go, what the fuck are you doing? You're a multi-billion-dollar company, a fucking juggernaut of a promotion in pro wrestling, and yet you have 2 more weeks left, and there's nothing more to be said because there is no depth on these fucking shows and these storylines. There's nothing. The Gunther Seth Rollins thing. Boom. Perfect. You got your match. It's got no fucking story outside of Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins that was interjected with Gunther so that we can have a replacement for Braun Breaker. Is Gunther part of the Vision? Is he an ally to Paul Heyman now? Does Paul Heyman now have allies to both Brock Lesnar, Gunther, and Logan Paul and Austin Theory? Can we fucking just please say that the Vision is dead? There is no more fucking Vision. It's just Paul Heyman having acquaintances and allies and people he actually likes to surround himself with individually. I mean, he's got a fucking retiring beast coming up that he had a partnership with for a very long time on and off. And he now has Gunther, who's the next, probably going to be the next Brock Lesnar of WWE. Not that that's a great comparison, because I don't think either one of them are anything alike. But Paul Heyman would be a good attachment to Gunther. He could deliver better promos. Gunther's not terrible, but Gunther's kind of... I'd say Gunther is a little bit more generic. There's nothing really unique about his promos, just straightforward to the point, which is fine, but it doesn't help bring a little bit more excitement to building towards his matches that he has going into the pay-per-view events that he's going to be on. So, tying him with Paul Heyman might not be a bad idea, even though Gunther is technically established, only they continue to lower his stock each and every fucking week with no fucking storyline of any kind. But, you know, it's whatever. Dragon Lee had something going on with Gunther, and yet Rey Mysterio is out, so now Gunther has just found a new victim to attack for no fucking apparent reason at all. But, yeah. There's 2 more weeks left, and we got to sit through this and hope and pray that this company can actually give us something worth entertainment-wise and have us actually say something positive about. Because honestly, the way this show felt, it felt like the fucking go-home show of WrestleMania. That's the God-honest truth. But anyway, guys. At this time, you know what to do. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that. Thank you guys very much for watching, and have a great night, guys. Bye.